What is going on, guys? It's your boy Fallen, and welcome to the Friday's video for the new Sputnik Entertainment channel. Now, I've been thinking about what I want to make for this week's Friday video, and I decided that on Fridays I want to do more unscripted videos. Now, the Monday and Wednesday videos that we did on Mercari were very much scripted. I wrote a script, I had my talking points. But with this video, I want to do something different. Now, it's still going to be very much on point. It's not going to be something random. And this week, I want to do a video on this thing. Now, I want to do a first impressions video. I've shot with it once or twice. I ordered it on B&H. B&H has this thing called their daily deal section, which they rotate out different equipment and they're either liquidating or is not doing well and they're just trying to take a L on it, or sometimes it's just a straight on sale. Now, I've been a fan of sliders for the longest time. I think they add a lot of cool effects into video production and filmmaking, and I wanted one or two. Now, companies like Rhino or Adochrome make amazing sliders, but they're a lot of money. If you want a super high-end slider, that can set you back $1,500 to $4,000, and beyond that if you're working with super high-end equipment. Now, this is right now going for $199. I got it cheaper. I think I got it for $129. It's by a company called Great Video Maker. Now, the name of the company itself sounds something like a shady shell company would name itself. So the title of the company, like I said, is not the best, but it's not the point of the video. So I have some technical specs on the screen here. I just want to give you a quick insight of what is in it. Now, this is not a full-on review. Like I said, I just want to give you my first feedback, my thoughts on it, and the first one time using it. In the full review, I'm going to have footage of the unit, which I think I'll try to do on Monday or Wednesday video of next week. That will be the focus. Or if there's a different topic you want me to do on different equipment, lenses, whatnot, that goes into our productions, let me know. Anyways, when you pull it out of the cardboard box, it has a nice carrying case. Now, it does have very nice handles that can be attached together or kept separate. Now, the handle makes it so it does not eat into your hand while you're carrying it, or you can keep it separate, especially when you're opening the package. Anyways, it is a nice, I think it's a nylon material bag, so it would protect it from rain, some moisture. It's not waterproof. It's not like super high-end cases that might do that. It's not Think Tank, it's not anybody else, but it does the job. Now, when you open it, it does have a styrofoam cutout. It has a top on it, but I threw the top away because I do not want to bother with too much junk, especially when I'm shooting. I took it out to Central Park once, and I already felt like I'm a packed donkey. But let's take a look what's inside. So inside, we have the actual slider. Now, before I actually get any further, the smell of this unit is horrible. It smells like a factory smell. Now, I've ordered tons of gear from different companies over the years, and I've rarely came across the smell. I don't know if it's the oil, I don't know if it's the grease to keep the belt moving, but it smells horrible. I let it literally sit in this living room for like 3-4 hours, and it did not go away, and it just gave me a headache. Actually, I have one coming on talking about this. But let's pull out the actual unit. Now, like I said, the styrofoam cutout is a nice addition. So if you're transporting this in a car, in a plane, wherever, it does not get banged up. Now, here's the actual slider. It is 23 inches of sliding range. So that gives you an idea if you want to convert it to centimeters, if you give you an idea of how long it is. It's not expandable, it's not adjustable, so you're getting 23 inches of it. Now, it does not come with a tripod head, which is nice because you can slap on your favorite tripod head, any sort of head, fluid head, video head. You just slap it onto the top of this slider. Now, once again, you have the Great Video Maker logo on it, and you have the belt. It actually does have a bubble level on it, so you can see if your slider is leveled. It also has adjustable feet. Now, these are nice feet that provide a little bit of cover, a little bit of cushioning onto the slider. So that is a nice addition, so it's not just getting beat up, or when the slider actually slides, it's not vibrating due to the motion of the slider. Speaking of which, of the actual slider, even at 100% speed, it moves at turtle speed. I thought I set it up incorrectly. I thought there was something wrong with it, but it really takes forever. Now, in real life, it looks like it's moving fast. But when you actually take a look at it in post, it is very, very, very slow. Now, I have not shot on sliders like Edelkrone or Rhino, and I would love to. So companies do, if Rhino or Edelkrone wants to send me one of the sliders for a review, I would appreciate it. Actually, I know the guys at Edelkrone personally. I met them a few times at NAB and a few other shows. They're very friendly guys, make amazing equipment, which I have off camera. But once again, comes with a price tag. Now, something like this is very, very cheap if you're considering yourself a professional filmmaker. The belt is a rubber belt, so it's not a mechanical or a metal belt. So that gives you an idea. So if this thing rips, if this thing breaks, tears, whatever, it is gonzo. Another problem that I saw with this slider is that while I was trying to carry the equipment, the head kept sliding. So I had my camera on it, I had the head on it, and literally it went from top all the way to the bottom and banged, and which was not a pretty sound. Now, like I said, this is my first impressions. I'm not sure if you can fully tighten it so it does not move. I would not imagine so, because that's not the point of the slider. But goes back to my next point. When you're programming A to B, B to A, time-lapse mode, it constantly forgets it. So, which we'll get to the additional portion of the unit. So you actually plug in the controller into here. If by any chance you disconnect that controller, the whole slider forgets it, the unit gets reset, and you have to reprogram where the start or where the finish is of the sliding deck, which can make some horrible, horrible sounds in horrible footage. So what actually happens if you do not program the start and the finish of the slider, it will go to one end and keep trying to go the same direction, creating this horrible vibrating sound of metal to metal vibrating on top of each other. Keep sliding. Of course, we have the end, so it can't slide any further, and it does not know where the end of the slider is. It's not a super advanced slider that knows where the start or the end points are. Now, for me, a suggestion would be maybe adding magnets to each end. So when it gets to an end, it would be able to stop moving. Otherwise, if you literally would let it slide, this thing can keep grinding until the battery of the slider dies, which is not great in my opinion. But once again, this is a very budget slider. Even at full price at $200, B&H is calling it a #1 bestseller, but I don't know why. The actual model of it is GT60D. So this is the actual unit. I think we went over a lot of the main features of the slider itself, but let's see what else comes in the box. besides the foam padding. So what else comes is a USB cable that connects the controller to the sliding head, to the slider controller, I'm sorry. Here's the actual controller. It is a nice controller. Like I said, this is my first slider I've used before. The plastic does feel a little bit cheap, like Chinese plastic does not on a high-end product. You have an on-off switch in the background, in the back of the unit. And it also comes with a battery and charger, so which is nice. Now the battery is a bit generic, so if you have your own battery, you can stick onto it, and if you're shooting on location, you can swap out the battery. Now on top of it all, it does have a DC 12 volt outlet, so you can just directly plug it in and run a DC power outage to it. Now the unit does not come with a DC power supply. That is something I would have said would have been cool for them to add on. I would have not added much extra cost for them to add a couple bucks worth of product, but having a combination of a battery and a DC outlet would be cool. Besides that, it does have a shutter button, so if you want to connect the shutter of the slider to the shutter of your camera, which should be any camera, Sony, Nikon, Canon, whatever else you might be shooting on, even a GoPro, you can definitely add a shutter. Or if you want to use something else and just use it as a sliding head, it is definitely possible. So this is pretty much what comes with it: a battery, a charger, USB cable, controller, and the actual slider. Now I just want to quickly touch upon the specs of it, and I think we'll be wrapping up the Friday video from here. Once again, it's a nice carrying case. I think the carrying case is one of my biggest favorite features of it, that you do not have to worry about purchasing an additional carrying case and not fitting 100%. Once again, it's not a Pelican case. It's not something super high-end with adjustable foam, but it does the job. Quickly touching upon the technical specs: 11 pounds of load capacity, which should carry most DSLR or mirrorless cameras, even if you're throwing a battery grip, a flash, anything else you want to do on top of it all. 23 inches of sliding range, like I talked about. It is aluminum, not carbon fiber, but carbon fiber would make it a lot more expensive. Even something not super technically advanced like this slider would make it about $500, $600, to be honest, just because of how portable and light carbon fiber is. It has a 1/4 inch 20 thread and 3/8 of an inch 16 screwed holes. So if you want to throw it on top of your tripod, if you want to add it onto your adjusting or your existing rig, you're more than welcome to do so. I've done it with my new open tripods that I've been playing around with, and it works totally fine. You just screw it on, and it's very easy. It takes a few seconds just to screw it on. You can remove the legs of it and make it very smooth. Just from a company description, it talks about designed for wedding, event photography, studio, film, video recordings. You can attach the tilt head to the dolly, adjust the slide and tilt head for the straight horizontal shots, and find a balance quickly with the built-in precision spirit level, which is the bubble level I talked about. Suitable for all high-performance DSLRs, mirrorless, bridge, and video cameras, and all other photographic equipment, like I also mentioned before. I think you can actually even mount a flash or an adjustable light if you want to have it for your videos to make some cool effects, which I might actually play around with. Total number of photos calculated based on time. When using time-lapse photography, you can check the remaining numbers of shots. Conveyor belt, non-slip feet, and camera platform lock. I'm sorry. So that is the quick overview of the great video great video. What is that again? Great movie, great video maker. Professional video aluminum alloy motorized camera slider, tripod. Slider. I am sorry. I got very thrown off by the title. The title is not the great, guys. Work on your marketing. It's not the easiest thing to say. As for the actual screen, where did I put this? So the actual screen is also not the best. It is not a touch screen, what a lot of devices in the camera world are transitioning to. And it's not a super high-end LCD screen. The whole controller feels pretty cheap. It does have semi-clicky buttons, as you guys can hear, which is always nice if you're having connection with it. But I wish it had better construction behind this. Once again, I feel like if I drop this from a decent height, this whole controller would crack. And especially if you're working in locations, you're in a rush, something bangs against you, situations like this happen. Of course, you can make it a custom grip, you can wrap it, you can make it protective, whatever, but it will still not be the best protection ever, especially with you needing to swap the battery behind it. Now, and it tells you, so the lithium-ion batteries that it supports are NP550, NP750, and NP960. So usually, like I said, if you've been around the business long enough, or if you've been doing photography for quite some time, you should have one of those batteries available, and you can swap it in the back. And speaking of which I just remembered, the battery on it is not great. It does take quite time for it to fully charge. And when I took it out for a park for my first kind of demonstration, get a feel on it if it's actually working or not. And after about half an hour, the battery became half drained, which was surprising. Yes, I understand this thing is moving my whole camera ahead, and it's also moving from side to side in a hot environment. All those factors play a role into draining the battery. But it is supposed to be a brand new battery. It's supposed to have 100% of its power associated with it. So I don't know if I just got a faulty battery with the unit. I don't know if it's something else. I don't know if it's just because the camera is a little bit heavier with this big Sony lens that I'm shooting on. All of those things can be in effect. I'm just letting you guys know my feedback. So as overall my first opinion on it, I say buy it. Now the reason I say buy it is because $200, you do not see a lot of sliders, especially mechanized sliders or automatic sliders for this price range. Now I've had a manual slider before, but us humans are not designed to have the precision of an automatic slider. We're always not going to be able to push it at the same speed, at the same duration, and pull back at the same time constantly over and over again. So for $200, if you're generating any sort of income from your photography or videography, it is definitely an addition to have at least as a backup slider. Now, should it be a primary slider that you use? Maybe. Depending whatever work you're doing on between the length of the slider and the things I talked about, it might be a good fit for you, it might not. Now this is not a full review, like I said. I definitely want to shoot with it a couple more times with a couple of different bodies, lenses, environments, and give you a full opinion on the slider. And I'll give you guys a rating. We'll do it in bananas, oranges, whatever we'll come up with. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's a slider worth buying? Have you guys bought a slider? Or have you ever considered buying a slider for yourself or someone else? I keep waving this really cheap controller, but I wish there was a different one. Or even a Bluetooth app. Now, a lot of sliders like Edelkrone and Rhino sliders that I keep referring to do have Bluetooth or phone app support associated with it, so you can program with them. Now, I'll leave a link in the description of this video for this particular slider. I know that there might be Chinese knockoffs of this one. I know that companies like Newer that dominate Amazon marketplace for photography and videography gear might have something like this. And they might be a little bit cheaper. I think I potentially seen them be about $130, $140, which is close to the price that I bought this on sale. But even at $200 with tax, you're paying about $220. It is, I think, is a buy. This is why I want to do a full-on review of this. If it's honestly was not worth it, I might not even review it. But I had some good experiences with it. I had some bad experiences with it. I want to play around with it, see if I can actually reach out to the GVM company and maybe we can get some insight into some of the issues I mentioned, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for all the support you guys have been showing us on the new channel. If you want to stay updated with all the content we're putting out lately, click that subscribe and the notification bell. If you liked the video, I appreciate a thumbs up. If you did not, I would appreciate a thumbs down. But do let me know why you did not like this video. I know that there's still a lot of improvements we can make this content better for you guys. But we're still in lockdown in New York City, so there's limitations of what we can do for you guys. But we are trying our best. We all watch videos online together, so we try to make best possible content. So this is something new. Like I said, I know this video was probably a little bit longer than I expected it to be. But once again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you